The votes are in for your You Pick Tuesday video. I called it in a little bit early because, look, it's overwhelming. It's never been so overwhelming. 48%, well, maybe I've seen a 48%er before. But either way, guys, Sergio Oliva, Arnold Schwarzenegger, you can't go wrong with this matchup. And this is both of their comebacks. And that's what makes it all the more interesting. These guys have quite a history. Of course, they competed for the first time, 1969, at the Olympia, where Sergio did get the victory. And since then, Arnold defeated Sergio Oliva on several other occasions. Very debatable, I might add, and also very controversial when you consider that they were both there in 1971, and Sergio was looking awesome, I might add. Probably could have defeated Arnold there. And he was not allowed to compete, disqualified, because he competed somewhere else. Pretty foolish when you consider that people complain about traveling restrictions, things of that nature nowadays. Well, he was there then, and he still couldn't compete, so, not too much to complain about nowadays when you consider that type of foolishness. And food for thought, 1972, a lot of people, including myself, I figured that Sergio was the better man that night. But anyway, guys, 1980, Arnold came back out of retirement. He competed last time in 1975, of course. Retired, came back 1980. So this is a big return. This was less of a return for Sergio Oliva, as he competed up until 1981 from the 60s. So he never really took too much time off. He took a few years off, and he made his return here in the IFBB. It was more a return to the IFBB stage. He went and competed in rival organizations. And basically, if you want to get into the politics of IFBB, that's a no-no. You don't want to compete for other federations. You're never going to win the Olympia after that. But anyway, guys, this is a very outstanding comparison. 1980, Arnold Schwarzenegger, the return, and the return of Sergio Oliva, 1984. There's maybe one or two pictures from 1985. But, it's basically the same version of Sergio Oliva, maybe actually slightly better in 85. But anyway, he looks, in this picture, I should say, he looks way better than Arnold. The camera angle is not very flattering for Arnold's legs, and they were down in size anyway in 1980. That, coupled with his much wider waist than Sergio, you can see that it makes for an easy victory for Sergio Oliva. But like I said, this is a terrible camera angle for Arnold. So we're really going to have to go through the shots, beginning with the front double bicep pose. The first of the actual poses. We don't have all of them. We have some of them. Arnold's legs, they don't look too bad as far as the separation is concerned. He is tilted a little bit, and that actually favors his waistline. Can't see the wide waist as much. He's got his gut in check for sure. He's got a nice little vacuum there. Arms, definitely winning. Now, when you look at Sergio, needs a little bit more cuts in the legs, but I would wager to say if the camera was straight on, we would see a definite better V-taper, although Arnold's lats are good. And we would see much more massive legs, for sure, on the part of Sergio Oliva. But I gotta say, Arnold, this is his shot. If he's gonna beat Sergio in any of the poses, in particular for Sergio's comeback. It was a better shot back in his day. Definitely a better shot back in his day. Let's go through these shots. And this is apples versus oranges on all aspects. On all aspects of the shot. Sergio Oliva here. There's no way he's going to be as good in the silhouette, the structure, the chest muscle as Arnold Schwarzenegger. Come on. This is a command. It is me, Arnold. Do it. Look at my big rooster chest. Cock-a-doodle-doo. Now, Sergio doesn't have that shape. You know what I'm saying? But what he does possess is a superiority in the conditioning that is so plain to see that if these two bodybuilders were on today's stage, the judges would have no choice but to give it to Sergio because of that thin skin, things of that nature. go to the first of the two back shots. Unfortunately, this is not a very good one of Arnold. It's an old, blurry, rusty old screenshot, tilted thusly. Of course, the camera angle itself tilted about the same for Sergio. Look at that meat. Both of these guys had outstanding backs. Definitely underrated. I mean, everybody nowadays says, oh, the guys back in the day, their backs nowhere near as good. But I'm telling you, for their time, I mean, Sergio Oliva, Arnold Schwarzenegger, they had the best backs going at one time. Let's have a look at the rear double, because this is a good shot. Nice clear picture. And this is the 1985 for Sergio Oliva, although this was stuck in the album with 1984. Huh? Go figure. Definitely got it wrong when you look at the banner. That's an 85 banner. Arnold, known for that Christmas tree. Nice, clean, neat lat insertions. But I gotta say, take a look. Sergio Oliva has him beat on all aspects. And take a close look, because the lighting's not that good for 85. Take a close look at the hamstrings. See that? He is in superior condition over Arnold Schwarzenegger. Not only that, but much more muscular. Look at the back. Could you imagine if there was a nice clean shot, and there is not too many, of Sergio Oliva back in his day hitting this shot? Maybe one from a rear lat spread, but it's not that good. Anyway, this is a good shot. I wager to say he is beating Arnold. Like I said, we don't have all of the poses, but hey, I'll give you what I have, and I found an abs and thigh. It's not a bad shot for Arnold. You know, I've seen worse. His conditioning was not bad, the abs, and from the front, his quads look pretty separated. Actually had an advantage over Sergio Oliva in that aspect, but from behind it was lights out. Arnold's conditioning, a little too smooth. Now, V-taper, if you're talking V-taper, nobody in the history of the planet could ever come close to what Sergio Oliva has here. Look at that. Wow. Arnold, of course, he's facing forward and you can't see it. But trust me, guys, Arnold had a wide waist, with all due respect. And in 1980, he had the more slender legs. So it's, my opinion, use your imagination. Sergio would win the abs and thigh. My opinion. I'm not hating on Arnold either. I know it sounds like I am. Most muscular. You can see here, Arnold definitely did not have the beef that he once had. Sergio looks good and thick, but to be honest, he could be striking this a little bit better as well. So, at the end of the day, I mean, you're going to have to use your imagination. Some, anyway. You're not going to have the clearest pictures, the same angles, things of that nature. But it is fun to speculate. Who had the more successful comeback? Well, Arnold Schwarzenegger did. A lot of people say it's politics, but he won the event. He won the entire event. He defeated everybody. Very controversially, I might add, some good conditioned bodybuilders in 1980. If you take a look at the roster and the pictures. Now, Sergio Oliva, he placed 8th. Way down in 8th. Of course, it was a hungrier lineup, but he did not have the politics working for him, obviously. He placed 8th again in 1985, so duplicated that 8th place finish. So obviously Arnold had the more successful comeback. Who looked better? Who duplicated their prime more? Who would have won if you're able to pluck these two versions from their timeline? Honestly, I think Sergio Oliva would have won. Arnold defeated him in certain aspects. Quad separation, Arnold was very underrated in that. Biceps, obviously, in that front double bicep pose. And the shape, structure, side chest, things of that nature. But I think it would come to down to conditioning. Sergio Oliva, his back shots, just out of sight. Out of sight for sure. And that small little tiny wee waist. Can't beat that. Can't beat that. He always would use that and draw out Arnold's weakness with his wide waist. So one of the reasons why I guess he defeated Arnold and controversially lost to him in 72. Got to throw that in it again, guys. Hit thumbs up on the video. What a pick. So glad you guys voted for this one. Unbelievable. I thought it was going to go to Criso due to the recent popularity of him. But hey, you guys voted for the right one this time for sure. Pat on the back for yourselves. Have a great day.